Good morning all. My name is Ashok. In this video we are going to cover ratio and proportions. After completion of this one we are going to continue partnership. So let's get started. So in this video what we are going to learn here is what is meant by ratio, how to simplify ratios, how to combine two three ratios, all these kind of basic stuff. We are going to use these concepts in all the upcoming concepts. So see here, generally the main purpose of ratio here is comparison between two quantities. Like for example, let us take my weight is 80 kgs and your weight is only 40 kgs. So I can say I am double of your weight or not. So to compare two similar quantities, we are going to use ratios. Again, let us take my age is 40 years and your age is only 20 years. So I can say I am double of your age. So to compare two similar kind of quantities, we are going to use ratio and proportions. Now, ratio, we are going to use this symbol. We can say A is to B and we can also write it as A by B. So in order to express one term in terms of others, we can use ratio and proportions. For example, let us take, I want to say this one, like your weight is half of my weight. So if I'm assuming if your weight is 1, then I'm double of your weight, so I'm going to take my weight as 2. So your weight is half of my weight. So if I'm assuming my weight is 2 units, your weight is going to be only 1 unit. So remember, A is to B can be also written as A is by B. And remember one thing, you can compare weight and weight, you can compare age and age. But see here, let us take my weight is 80 kgs, but your age is 20 years. I can't compare both of them. So make sure while calculating ratios, you should have same units everywhere, here as well as here. That's the first thing. We are going to learn some basic definitions and what is meant by component ratio and all those things. See here. The first thing, as I told you, ratios are comparison of two quantities. Make sure both of them are identical quantities. That's the first thing. Second one, ratios A is to B can be also written as A by B. Okay, and the first term we are going to call it as antecedent and the second one we are going to call it as consequent. And coming to compounding of ratios, compounding is simply multiplying the ratios. Let us take, I am having three ratios, A by B, B by C. So let us take C by D and D by E. What I'm saying is I'm having three ratios, A by B, C by D and E by F. What is meant by compounding of ratios? Simply multiplying one ratio with other ratio. That is ACE by BDF. That's the meaning of compounding of ratio. That is simply multiplying the ratios. Next, proportions. If one ratio is equal to some other ratio, we are going to say both of them are in proportion. For example, 1 is to 2 or you can say 1 by 2 is same as 50 by 100. Both of them are going to give you the answer as 0.5. So if two ratios are identical to each other, we are going to say those ratios are in proportion. See here, two given ratios identical to one another. We are going to represent proportion with two ratio symbols or you can simply use equal to sign. Okay, the first one, ratios are used for comparison purpose. We can write A is to B as A by B also. Compounding of ratios means simply multiplying the ratios. Proportion means if two ratios are giving the same value, we are going to say those ratios are in proportion or simply saying those are equal ratios. Now, let us learn some rules of ratios. See, let us take, we are going to take two ratios which are in proportion. Proportion means let us take A by B is equal to C by D. We are going to say both of them in proportion because A by B is going to give you the same value as C by D. So in order to explain better, I am going to take original values in place of those. Let us take 5 by 2 and here I am going to take, let's multiply with 3, you will get 15 by 6. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter, it's not going to affect your values. So 5 by 2 is same as 50 by 6. Now see, the first one, inverted ratio. That means if A by B equal to C by D, we can also say that B by A equal to D by C. If this is true, then you can say this is also true. See here, here you are going to get 2 by 5, here you are going to get 6 by 15. In both the cases, you are going to get the answer as how much? 2 by 5 only. If you want, you can simplify. Is zero point 0.4 as well as 6 by 15 also you are going to get only 0.4. So if A by B equal to C by D, then you can also say that B by A equal to D by C. Next one, alternando rule. That means that if A by B is equal to C by D, you can actually interchange these terms. Like then A by C will become B by D. We're simply doing cross multiplication. That means 5 by 15 is same as 2 by 6. In both the cases, you are going to get 1 by 3 only. Next, componendo rule. That means that if A by B is equal to C by D, you can say that A plus B by B is also equal to C plus D by D. For example, let us take 1 by 2 is same as 3 by 6. The same thing. Then what will happen? Here left side you are going to get 3 by 2 and right side you are going to get 9 by 6. Both of them are going to give you the answer as 1.5. Next, dividend rule. Dividend rule means if A by B is equal to C by D, you can also say that A minus B by B is equal to C minus D by D. Like for example, if you take these values, 1 minus 2 by 2 is also equal to 3 minus 6 by 6. So here I'm going to get minus 1 by 2. Here also I'm going to get minus 1 by 2, or you can say minus 0.5. The last and final one, componendo and dividend rule. That means that if A by B is equal to C by D, you can say that A plus B by A minus B is also equal to C plus D by C minus D. Let us check this one. Here, A plus B is 1 plus 2 by, let us take minus 1 because 1 minus 2. Here, 3 plus 6 by 3 minus 6. So as you can see here, in both the cases, I got the answer as minus 3. So if A by B equal to C by D, you can say A plus B by A minus B is equal to C plus D by C minus D. These are the properties of ratios. The first one, invertido, then alternando, then componendo, dividendo. The combination of both of them, componendo and dividendo. Okay, you can use these to combine or simplify the ratios. Now, let's learn how to simplify the ratios. And before moving on, one more thing. See, if A is to B is a ratio, we are going to call A square is to B square as duplicate ratio, root A is to root B as subduplicate ratio, and A cube is to B cube as triplicate ratio. Remember, let us take 1 is to 2 is a ratio. Then 1 square is to 2 square, that is 1 is to 4 is its duplicate ratio. Similarly, triplicate ratio of 1 is to 2 is going to be root 1 is to root 2. Similarly, triplicate ratio is going to be 1 cube is to 2 cube, that is 1 is to 8. So if A is to B is a ratio, this is duplicate ratio, this is subduplicate ratio, and this is triplicate ratio. Now let's learn how to combine ratios. In ratios, you are going to have mainly three models of combinations. For example, if A is to B equal to 1 is to 2 and B is to C equal to 2 is to 3, then how you are going to find out A is to B is to C? See, when B is 2, then only A is 1. When B is 2, C is 3. So as we are having the same value for common variable, we can combine them. When B is 2, A will be 1 and C will be 3. You can directly write it as 1 is to 2 is to 3. That's the first one. Second one, A is to B equal to, let us take 1 is to 3. B is to C equal to 6 is to, let us take 5. Then I want to find out A is to B is to C. Remember one thing, multiplying or dividing the ratio with the same number is not going to affect the value of ratio. That is, 1 is to 2 is same as 5 is to 10. That is same as 100 is to 200. Multiplying or dividing is not going to, sorry, multiplying or dividing the ratio with the same number is not going to affect the value of ratio, because ratio is simply comparison. So even 2 is double of first number, 10 is double of first number, 200 is double of first number. It is not changing the meaning of the ratio. But see here, when B is 3, A will be 1. But we don't know what will happen to A when B is 6. That's why when you are having two different values for the common variable, but you can get one value by multiplying other value with some other number. That then multiply with that number and make sure you are having common value for B. So here, I'm going to multiply this entire ratio with 2. Remember, when you are changing one variable, you have to multiply all the variables in that ratio so that you don't disturb the meaning of the ratio. I'm not changing the second one, I'm just changing the first one. I'm multiplying this ratio with 2. So 1 is to 3 is same as 2 is to 6. Then I can write A is to B is to C as 2 is to 6 is to 5. That one. Now, let's move on to the third model. or you can say third pattern. So here what is going to happen is, let us take A is to B is something and B is to C something. Let us take this is 1 is to 3 and this is 5 is to 7. I can't convert 3 into 5 by multiplying with any number. Similarly, I can't get 3 from 5 by multiplying with any number. So in that case, make sure B is equal to LCM of two distinct numbers given there. So what is the LCM of 3 and 5? Equal to 15. So make sure here and here you are having 15. That's why multiply this ratio with 5 and this ratio with 3. Then here it will become A is to B equals to 5 is to 15, and here B is to C multiply with 3, 15 is to 21. Then you can write A is to B is to C as 5 is to 15 is to 21. So the first thing, guys, if you're having same value for B, no need to do anything, simply write all of them together. When you are having two distinct values for B, but you can get one number by multiplying the first number with some other number, then only change one ratio and make sure you are having same value for B, then combine them, then get your answer. The third one, it is not possible to make B values same by multiplying one ratio with some other number. In that case, make sure both of them are equal to their LCM. So in order to make equal to LCM, in our case it is 15, multiply the first ratio with 5 and second one with 3. But while multiplying the ratios, make sure you are multiplying both the variables but not only one. Okay, now let's learn how to combine the ratios. That means that, see, A is to B equal to 1 is to 3, B is to C equal to, let us take 5 is to 6, and C is to D equal to some 3 is to 7. It doesn't matter. You can take any number you want. I want to find out A is to D. First, I'm going to tell you the conventional method. Then I will tell you a shortcut to combine those ratios. The first one here is you have to go step by step. That means take the first two ratios. In the first two ratios, we are having what is the common variable B. So make sure you are having same value here and here. So for that, I'm going to multiply this ratio with 5 and this ratio with 3 because I'm having different values for B. So I'm going to make sure both of them are equal to their LCM. In that case, what will happen to A is to B? This will be 5 is to 15, and what will happen to B is to C? 15 is to 18. So I can write A is to B is to C as 5 is to 15 is to 18. Now, but I want to find out A is to D. So I want to D value also. I have combined this one with here. But as you can see here, here you are having C as 18. So when C is 18, A will be 5 and B will be 15. But D is 7 when C is 3. I'm having different values for C, so I can't combine them. So multiply this entire ratio with 6 so that I can get 18 here. I mean, I can get C value 18. So now the C is to D becomes 18 is to 42. So see, when C is 18, A will be 5 and B will be 15. And when C is 18, D will be 42. So when as C is saying, you can combine all the ratios together. That is 5 is to 15 is to 18 is to 42. I want only A is to D, so the answer is going to be 5 is to 42. Now there is a problem with this method. The problem here is, even though I want to find out the ratio of A is to D, still I'm finding out the values of B and C here. Nobody asked us to find out the values of B and C. Still we are finding out the values of B and C here. Because I want A and D, but still I need to calculate B and C in this method. Next one. If I want to add one more ratio, let us take some 9 is to 5. That is D is to E. So if I want to add one more ratio, based on the given number, sometimes you have to change the entire previous number. See here, I'm having 42 and I'm having 9. So I have to multiply this one with one number and this one with some other number. So the complexity is going to increase as you are keep on increasing the ratios and as you keep on adding the ratios to some other ratio. So in order to avoid both of these difficulty, we are going to apply one more method. So please follow with me. See here, first thing what you need to do here is take two ratios. Whatever the common variable you are having here, write the common variable in the middle. One side one variable and other side some other variable. Make sure you are only writing the common variable in the middle. Next one, take next two ratios. What are the common variable here? C. So C should be in the middle. One side you are already having B, so take D on the other side. Don't write ABCD. You have to write common variable always in the middle. Now, What is A is to B here? A is to B is 1 is to 3. Leave that line and move on to the next line. What is B is to C? 5 is to 6. 5 and 6. 5 below B and 6 below C. Leave that line and move on to the next line. C is to D is 3 is to 7. Now what you need to do here is, you are going to find some blanks there. Fill the blanks with the adjacent numbers. Adjacent number means see here. What is the adjacent number to this blank? 3. So fill right here. What is the adjacent numbers to this blank? This number. For this one, adjacent number is 6. For this one, adjacent number is 5. For this one, it is 3. For this one, it is 3. Now what you need to do here is, whatever the ratio you want, you just need to multiply those lines. That's it. A and D. Now, as we know that ratio means we are going to cancel all the common terms or common tables. So if you want, you can multiply those lines vertically like this. Then you can cancel the terms. For example, here I am going to get 5 into 1 into 5 into 3. This one, 1 into 5 into 3, 15. And here I am going to get 3 into 6 into 7. So how much is 3 into 6 into 7? 18 into 7, it will be equal to 126. Again, you can cancel the third table. You are going to get 5 is to 42. You can do like this. Or the easiest way here is, instead of multiplying and cancelling, you can cancel and multiply. That means that, see this one. See, anyway, I know that I am going to cancel later on. Why to go there? Now cancel here itself. See here. When you are checking A and D, only see the lines of A and D. And if there is any number common in both the lines, cancel that number. For example, 3 is here, 3 is here. You can cancel that one. After cancelling, multiply the remaining number, like 1 into 5, 5, 6 into 7, 42. You can directly get the answer like this. Okay, for your simplification, I will write there only exactly below A and D. So whichever lines you want to find out, like A is to D, multiply lines of A and multiply lines of D. That's it. You will get your answer. That is A is to D. Let us take in the problem, he is asking you to find out A is to B is to C is to D. Then what you need to do? So if he is asking you to find out A is to B is to C is to D, then what you need to do here is, instead of checking one line, you have to check all the 4 lines vertically. If you want, you can multiply all of them vertically. Then you can cancel the common terms. Otherwise, one more thing what you can do here is, first cancel, then multiply. But make sure if you're cancelling one number, that number has to be present in each and every line. For example, if I want to cancel 3, 3 is here, 3 is here, 3 is here, 3 is here. That's fine. But if I want to cancel 5, 5 is here, 5 is here, but 5 is not there. So you should not cancel 5. Whichever number is common in all the lines, you have to cancel only that number. After cancelling, multiply the remaining number. See, 1 into 5, 5, 5 into 3, 15, 6 into 3, 18, 6 into 7, 42. You will get the same answer as you got here. What I'm saying, write the ratio, leave the blank, or leave the line, move on to the next line. Write the ratio, move on to the next line. If you see a blank, fill the blank with the adjacent, that is immediate left or immediate right number. Okay, then you can multiply them vertically, you will get your answer. Now, why I am asking you to write only the middle variable here is, let us take A is to B is 1 is to 2 and A is to C is 2 is to 3. I want you to find out A is to B is to C. If you are writing A, B, C simply, then A is to B is 1 is to 2 and A is to C is 2 is, A is to C is 2 is to 3. 2 is to 3. But see here, what you are see here you are going to fill with 2, but what you are going to fill with here. That's why, in order to avoid that difficulty, always write the common variable in the middle. Common variable in the middle means, see what is the common variable in those two ratios? A is the common variable. So write A in the middle, one side B, one side C. Then what will happen? Here, A is to B is 1 is to 2 and A is to C is 2 is to 3. So here you can write 1, here you can write 2. So 4 is to 2 is to 3. But remember, this answer is B is to A is to C. But I want A is to B is to C. So this is going to be your final answer. This is how you are going to combine the ratios. We are going to solve the ratios. I mean, how to divide a number into ratios now. Then we'll move on to partnership. Let us take, I'm having 6,000 rupees or 6,000. How I am going to divide this 6,000 in the ratio of 1 is to 2 is to 3? The first one is, see here. Assume like this. I am giving 6,000 rupees to 3 persons in the ratio of 1 is to 2 is to 3. That means if I take back money from them, again I should get 6,000. But what I got here, 1, 2, 3. So if I take back how much I'm going to get, only 6. So my problem ratio 6 is equal to original problem 6,000 rupees. That means my problem 1 equal to original problems 1000. By finding out 1 unit value, you can find out all these values. 1 unit means 1000, 2 units means 2000, 3 units means 3000. That means add all the given numbers and make sure this sum is equal to the original sum. Then find out 1 unit value. If you got 1 unit values, you can find out all these numbers. Otherwise, the one more way is, let us take, I'm giving 6,000 to 3 persons A, B, C in the ratio of 1 is to 2 is to 3. I want to find out B's share. How I'm going to find out? See, if you want 1% share, write that person on numerator by required person by total number of shares into total amount. That means if I want to find out B share, how I'm going to do? I want only B value. B value is 2 here. 5. What is the total sum? 1 plus 2 plus 3. What is the total amount? 6,000. So 2 by 6 into 6,000, that is equal to 2,000. You can also do like this. Required ratio by total ratio into total amount. Like whichever you want, write it on the numerator. What is the total sum? Write in the denominator, multiply with the total amount. Or you can simply add all of them. Make sure that value is equal to your total amount. Then find out 1 unit value. From 1 unit value, you can find out 1 unit, 2 unit, and 3 units values. Okay, that's the basic thing about ratio and proportions. We'll start partnership in the next video. Thank you.